The Devious lick.
Get a parry, lick, and that's it!
Z-drop shine.
Wow.
That's an 8-star.
The 50-50.
No! Ah, no, man! The fucking croutons and the up strong, I did so well! Ah!
Whatever you want to call it, this technique essentially single-handedly carries PTM to the ranks of top tier. Don't get me wrong, even without it, I think PTM is still pretty solid and he has other ways to get the job done, but if you play PTM and you're not using this technique, you're giving yourself a gigantic handicap for no reason. The Shine Lick combo, or whatever you want to call it, can rob stocks from as early as 0% if your opponent isn't pressing any buttons to break out of the grab. In this video, I'll go over how to perform the technique as well as the nuances you should know if you want to avoid getting hit by it, or if you want to use this technique to its fullest capability. To perform the combo, you first need to find a grab on your opponent. To give your opponent as little time as possible to mash out of the grab, you want to perform the next steps quickly and deliberately. While you're holding onto them, you'll want to jump up into the air. Ideally, you want to get as close to the blast zone as possible in order to secure the kill. Next, you want to press your defend button to drop your opponent, and then you'll want to input a shine as quickly as possible. Immediately after the shine connects, you'll need to input a jump and an up strong at the same time. If all goes well, boom, you just committed robbery. You should know though that this combo is not guaranteed. If your opponent DIs the shine properly by holding away from you, the up strong will not connect. No DI and DI in, however, can both get hit by the up strong. Another thing to note is that your opponent is only put into one frame of hit stun after the drop, and you are immediately actionable once you perform the drop. Shine comes out in frame 2, so if you perform the shine on the same frame that you drop your opponent, you will hit them on the very first frame that they would be actionable. What this means is that this combo is effectively true on the entire cast with this timing except for April, who magically has the perfect animation and hurtbox shifting that keeps her out of the shine. For her, you actually want to delay the shine by 1 frame. Although it might sound strange, you actually do not want to perform the shine frame perfectly if you want to land the drop shine lick consistently. If you're not aware, there's a system in this game called counterhitting, which essentially makes it so that if you get hit on the startup or recovery frames of one of your moves, your DI angles are less effective and you experience less knockback. I'll leave a video in the description by fellow Powder Toast Man Player Remix that goes into more depth about how counterhitting works and its applications. What counterhitting means for this combo is that if you get caught mashing a move between the drop and the shine, even if you input the correct DI, you will not go far enough to escape the incoming up strong. If you know your opponent is likely to mash to escape the grab, you can actually use their mashing against them. The buffer window for a move to come out is 7 frames, meaning if they're pressing an attack within 7 frames of getting dropped, they'll execute that move. If you drop them and leave a gap as small as 1 frame or slightly larger, they might accidentally mash a move out of hit stun and get caught on the startup by your shine, guaranteeing their death. I've seen it happen plenty of times where a PTM will perform the shine and do the up strong the wrong direction. To make the up strong land more consistently, you should also know that your opponent will always drop the opposite direction you're moving. What this means is if you start drifting right during your jump, your opponent will drop on your left, and if you start drifting left, they'll drop on your right. This is important to know because when you perform the shine, as long as you're conscious of the direction you're moving, you should always know which side your opponent will be on as you go for the up strong. Also, if you can get into the head of your opponent, you can use their DI habits against them using this knowledge. Many players will attempt to DI away from you if one of their moves fails to land or if it gets blocked, as most people are conditioned to holding this direction to avoid combos. Knowing this, I'll often jump towards the direction they came from when I find the grab. They'll now be holding towards me, causing the shine to send them straight up. If you want my advice on how to avoid getting hit by the combo, here's some ideas. Obviously, avoid the grab. The grab will probably happen at some point, but you really just want to do your best to avoid letting it happen. Be careful of whiffing moves within his grab range, use projectiles if you have them, don't throw out unsafe moves that could get shield grabbed, and keep your approaches unpredictable so you don't get parried. If you think you're about to get grabbed in any situation, especially out of a tech chase or after using a move on PTM's block, you can mash grab so that if PTM isn't able to grab you before you begin your own grab, you'll get a grab tech. If you're at too high of a percent to mash out before PTM can execute the combo, you should probably actually just not mash at all. I say this because, as explained before, if you get caught mashing 7 frames before the drop, you could just get counter hit and die. That's why I encourage you to mash proactively instead of reactively to the grab, because you'll already be mashing before PTM's jump instead of during it. Unfortunately, I'll have to admit that the counterplay for this technique is super lopsided. It's really hard to react to getting grabbed, to constantly be aware of the potential threat of getting grabbed, and once you are grabbed, you straight up can get punished for trying to escape. Your best bet really is to just hold left or right and pray if you can't pre-mash out of the grab. If you want to steal one of my strategies as PTM, one of the most quick, safe, and easy ways I find a grab is through the use of crouton. If crouton connects, you can almost always follow up with a light dare that allows you to tech chase for a grab, or you can just follow the tech chase on their landing from the croutons. If you follow properly, you are rewarded with a grab and a potential kill. So, that's how you do the confirm. This is obviously a ridiculously broken technique, and it's pretty much worth going for at every instance you can do it, but you should be mindful of the stage you're on and the percentage of your opponent before going for the combo, or if there's potentially other safer ways to secure a stock. I recommend that you hop in training mode, see what percents work on certain characters, and just get used to the timing and try to get the tech down as clean as possible. Well, that's about it. I hope you young powdered toast men out there use this technique to your advantage and make me proud. On the other hand, I also hope that the rest of you use some of the counterplay I talked about to stay street smart and avoid getting robbed blind. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you'd like to see more educational Nick Brawl or Powder Toast Man content. I'd really appreciate it. And while you're at it, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch so you can either keep up and interact with me or just find more of my content. Peace.